And I think the fourth item,
Turn
when
off
we
your
get to
phones.
approval of the end, I'm gonna request it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's no problem.
Yes, turn off your ringers, please. Dave, do you want to turn off?
Already done.
Okay,
Yep, already done.
thank you.
Sure, sorry.
Gonna get a ticket then. You're gonna get a ticket then. That's illegal. Rolling up our sleeves.
Does anyone
Well,
else
no,
want
we're
sign
ready
in
to
address
get to
the
work.
board?
For sure.
Agenda item?
Yes.
Sign in to address the board. But I need an agenda. Hi. Yep. Can I give it back?
That's the.
Me either.
I had some, after talking.
Gotta keep it clean too, okay?
No, that would be better. We should also table item number 3 under new business. Till the 21st.
Thing doesn't stay.
We'll do it on the 21st. Nancy asked me to do that. There's a reason where if she's not comfortable with something, it goes in line with that. No, that's fine. All right. Commissioner, if you would like to take item number 1. And move it to the very end, so we get rid of all the housekeeping. Just table, but you know. Yep.
That's.
You have a sign up list of people.
Yeah.
Keep these, you don't have one of these?
Yeah.
Do you know how to keep them on? Mine never stays on. What do I gotta do?
Oh, I. Like, how great at the moment. I'm
Yeah.
Sure, we I can't.
Yeah.
Be honest, I can't. tell you.
Okay, well, we're not gonna worry about it.
We don't have to add.
I should have came here. Oh, here we go.
YouTube one? Yeah, is this live on YouTube? Hang it over there. Is that our IT guy? Okay, I'm sure he's at. Oh, we've drawn the crowd.
Keep these on. You know how to keep these on. Keep this from going black.
I was just tap it every once in a while.
Yeah, you just gotta tap it in times out.
We'll go into your settings later and I'll show you how to do it
All right.
to extend the screen time.
Did anyone else want to sign in to address the board?
Board meeting. Want to go? Look, I'm gonna charge my phone. I would go somewhere else.
Yes, we've got the board before. Before the meeting? Yeah. Agenda item. Right. Thank you.
The heck is that?
A special meeting of the Delta County Commissioners is being held this date pursuant to the following call. In the letter to the Commissioners dated February 10th, 2023, and reading as follows. The honorable members of the Delta County Board of Commissioners, dear Commissioners, a special meeting of the Delta County Board of Commissioners is scheduled for Tuesday, February 14th, 2023 at 4:45 p.m. in the boardroom of the Delta County Service Center and via Zoom. Please rise for a word of prayer. Lord, we thank you for our many blessings. We ask for your guidance to help our commissioners make decisions in the best interests of the citizens they serve. And Lord, we pray for the safety of our military men and women. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Commissioner Melner.
Here.
Commissioner View.
Here.
Commissioner Barron.
Here.
Commissioner Moyle.
Here.
And Commissioner Peterson.
Here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight. Special orders of business. So I can explain our procedures and policies to you. It takes two commission writing to submit a request to the county clerk for a special meeting. Commissioners both would submit their request for the meeting as well as what might be on the agenda. Chime in with that request as well. Everything is in order and in line with the Open Meetings Act. Approval of tonight, or rather minutes of the previous meeting, the county board meeting of 2/7/2023.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Barron. Supported by Commissioner Peterson. Discussion. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. That passes. All right, we need approval of tonight's agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda by removing item number 1 under new business to become the last item, number 9, as it stands right now. So that we can have more time for discussion on this item.
Understood, Commissioner View. So your motion would be to take the first item, make it the last item.
Support.
We have support by Commissioner Barron on that discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion carries. So please take item number 1 and make that the last item. We have a set agenda then.
Making a motion, we approve the agenda.
Support.
We have a motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you, sir. All right, presentation of written communications received, communications forwarded, anything?
No.
All right, very good. Reports of standing statutory special committees and other committees.
None.
Nothing. Then we have we have a public comment on agenda items. You'll be given 3 minutes to address the board. Please address your comments to the board, not to the audience. And let's start with Kelly Van Genhoven, please.
Do we have a timer? Or is there a timer here? I just want to make sure we get it started right away.
Good afternoon. My name is Kelly Van Genhoven. I reside in the city of Escanaba. I would like to speak to the agenda which was posted today and which you all see in front of you at this time. Delta County Commission bylaws state, quote, 1.6 special meetings, petition and notice. A special meeting of the County Board of Commissioners shall be held only when a written request from at least 1/3 of the members of the County Board of Commissioners is provided to the county clerk. The written request of the special meeting must specify the time, date, place, and purpose of the special meeting. Upon receipt of this request, the clerk shall give notice to each of the commissioners within 24 hours in one of the manners provided as follows: via a confirmed email or confirmed phone text, personal delivery of the notice of the special meeting to the commissioner, or leaving the notice of the special meeting at the residence of the commissioner. When the agenda was posted for this special meeting, there were 8 agenda items. However, I do not believe all 8 items were given to Nancy at the time the special meeting was called. From the special meeting guidelines, this is not permissible. By including these added items, it appears you violated your own bylaws. This is a clear lack of leadership. In my opinion, Commissioner Moyle is unfit to hold the title and responsibility of our county's board chair. Within 1 month, he has violated the Open Meetings Act, attempted to remove public at a meeting, and now has seemingly violated the commissioner's own bylaws. It is embarrassing. It could potentially cost the county money, and it needs to stop immediately. We, as citizens of Delta County, are going to be paying 6 months severance to a fired administrator and also money to an MMRMA attorney to discuss quote unquote legal issues. These 2 items alone could cost us nearly $50,000. It's a shame. Due to what I have just stated, I call for the resignation of Commissioner Moyle as board chair before more chaos ensues and more money is lost. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly Vander Guven, she runs the cupcake shop. She lost
In
her
the room,
election.
please. I'm asking you not to applaud. I'm asking you also to remain quiet. We'll have order in this room, please. Okay, number 2, Christiana Reynolds. Thank you for your time. You're welcome to speak.
Thank you. Hello, commissioners. My name is Christiana Reynolds and I live in Escanaba. Like many people in Delta County, I'm extremely concerned about the direction of this board after the last meeting. As everyone here is probably aware, the board decided to fire Emily DeSalvo after she spoke up about her concerns with certain behaviors of this board. I watched the meeting over YouTube and recorded Emily's speech and then her firing. I uploaded this video and it alone has been viewed over 31,000 times and shared almost 500 times. To put that number in perspective, the entire population of Delta County is about 36,000.
Keep going,
That was
please.
Kelly's
Yes,
timer,
you're
right? Okay, I just wanted to make
My
sure.
apologies.
This community is outraged and appalled over this board's actions. This board also leaves us asking questions about the ability of certain members of this board to serve in a manner that befits their position. As I see it, one of 2 things occurred at the last meeting. Either the board voted to fire Emily because their feelings overwhelmed them, or they discussed firing her before the meeting, which would violate the Open Meetings Act. Apparently, what this community is dealing with is a board unfit for their positions, either due to temperament or they are unfit because they are unethical. I want to be clear, my public comment is a check on the choices and behavior of the board, something that Emily did last meeting and lost her position because of it. Unfortunately for this board, they are not able to fire their constituents and will have to listen to all of our comments. Hopefully behavior will change and our commissioners will conduct
Want me to sit on
themselves
the
in a more
porch so you have to
professional
listen to
manner.
this?
After all, they serve at the pleasure of this community.
Yep. Yep, Berthium, is that? Oh, that's all right. What is it? Jen, I apologize. Gina Berthium, I'm sorry.
Can I speak into this? Yeah. Hi, my name is Jerry Berthium.
I apologize. Okay.
I feel compelled to be here tonight due to recent events within the board. Our former county administrator, Emily DeSalvo, is a leader, someone who is organized, clear when it comes to communication. A leader says what they mean and means what they say. They are highly adaptive to circumstances and need to be comfortable with being unpopular at times. A leader seeks feedback. Ms. DeSalvo sought your feedback. During her performance reviews, she received low scores by Mr. Barron and Mr. Moyle. She sought feedback and she was met with silence. No explanation, no encouragement, no guidance on how to improve. As commissioners, you took an oath to work for the best interest of the county. I feel it is in the best interest of the county to ask for Mr. Barron and Mr. Moyle to step down from the Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Susan Carlson, please.
Oh, I'm Susan Carlson. I reside in Wells Township. One of the first questions I had is, where did you get an agenda? I looked on the board website. I could see no agenda for this meeting. In addition, the Zoom does not always work. The video stopped working at the last hearing, then you could not hear the audio. So it was totally useless for that part of the meeting for people who are attending by Zoom. It needs to be fixed and guaranteed. I don't know. The other question I have is, you can see the number of citizens, which is great that everybody's participating in this, but you might want to consider, seeing as how this many people feel the need to be at a meeting, to convene in the circuit courtroom where there's more room. The other thing I'm concerned about is the grants that are out there. The Spark grant, and then there was a grant for Fuller Park, I believe, that though whatever happens, those grants get completed and done, and that money stays with the county. I think you should enforce the contract with the Soil and Conservation District. They signed it. It's legally binding. You would not have to do anything with the parks then until October, when you can close them. Hold them to that contract. The other thing I was thinking about too was, in addition, by eliminating Emily, you have incurred the cost of her severance pay. I think dismissing her was wrong, that she was a great administrator, and now you're back to square one. Thank you.
Thank you. Have anybody else who wishes to speak on agenda items? Anybody else who wishes to speak on agenda items? Please come up and state, if you wish to state your name.
Christine Williams, Ford River Township. I would like to comment on the contract with the Conservation District. That contract is legally binding. I agree, you should hold that legally binding contract together. The Conservation District should have to do the work that they committed to do. And relative to the contract, something I find incredibly interesting, and it just seems suspect to me. It seems like this whole thing, this whole shenanigans has been orchestrated. And that is, you have Rory Mattson from the Conservation District come up here to this podium and say, we're not doing this contract anymore because, we had two commissioners who were on their election protocol, or their election whatever. They said, we don't support the Conservation District doing the parks. Well, and then now they want to get out of the parks because they had two commissioners who said that they wouldn't support them. One of them stayed elected, one of them didn't get elected. I mean, this makes no sense. It's like as if Commissioner Moyle were to say, hey, I only got 43% of the votes, so therefore I don't feel like I should, I don't have support of my constituents, so therefore I don't think I should have to do this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So it feels like it was all orchestrated. So did you orchestrate all of this so that you had a reason, something that you could tell the people, we fired Emily DeSalvo because this, lack of, support for this contractor? I don't even know. I mean, it's just so chaotic and so out there. It doesn't make sense. Not at all. So you have a legally binding contract. The conservation district should do their job. They have to support those parks through this fiscal year. When this fiscal year is done, I can tell you, I have spent a lot of time looking at 20 years worth of conservation district profit and loss statements and their audits. And I can tell you that in the time that they have been supporting the parks, they have started to make profit on those parks. And those parks are revenue generating. Soil and erosion permits are revenue generating. You need to bring those things back into the county so that the county can generate that revenue and keep it with the general fund or with a fund for the parks so that those dollars stay in the hands of the people who are paying taxes to get this stuff done. It shouldn't be profit going to the conservation district. You need to just pull your head out. Just think about this and do what's right for the taxpayers of this community.
You have anybody else who wishes to speak to the board regarding agenda items, please? Thank you, sir.
My name is Matthew Keast, and I am a resident of Escanaba. I speak on behalf of this community when I say that we are disappointed. We are disappointed with the blatant childishness of our board, especially at the last county commissioners meeting. Moyle, Barron, and Peterson have demonstrated that they cannot lead and they cannot govern. Your corruption is costing our community, and we have had enough. Either you shape up or you get shipped out. I know what I would choose, and I'm sure you know what we would choose too. Happy Valentine's.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else wishing to address the board, please? Anybody else wishing to address the board regarding agenda items? Yes. I've got Joel here too.
My name is Joe Kaplan, and I live in Ford River Township. And I've been in front of this commission many, many times, advocating for transparency and following the rule of law. I am a staunch supporter of our Constitution. And in Michigan, our rights are guaranteed under the Open Meetings Act and under the Freedom of Information Act. And I know, Dave, you and I have gone back and forth. There was a time when I would be at this podium calling Bob Barron by name or you by name, where it would be a point of order, an interruption, telling me you can't attack or call someone out by name. It is so refreshing. Kudos to you all to finally understanding that the will of the people can't be subjugated. And the first rule of our constitutional freedoms that we all enjoy is freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. Sometimes I blow it under pressure, but hey, I got 1 minute and 53 seconds to go. Let's do this again. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. Oh, of course. And the last one, the ability to redress your government when it doesn't meet your expectations under the law. How could I possibly forget that? I've been advocating for that for 8 months, but I guess it's a full house. There's a lot more people listening. And I would say thank you that we finally got to the place where we get to express ourselves. And the last thing I'll say is under that agenda, those rules that say you can't quote unquote attack a board member, that's unconstitutional under Michigan. If it relates to county business, you can say what you need to your elected officials. And I appreciate your attention. It's been a long time waiting. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob, and thanks, David.
Thank you, sir.
Good job.
If you would like to address the board under public comment for agenda items, please. Somebody was, Pat, come on up.
Oh, you got it online?
Commissioners, thank you for having me.
You too?
What I see here is a huge lack of trust right now. We've got a lot of, and I believe that's due to lack of transparency. It was mentioned earlier, and it can't be any more true. I've got commissioners that have known information before that they chose to bury it in the hopes of making somebody else look bad or making the county look bad. I'm not sure why. That issue, it was buried by county commissioners that have shown that they don't care if you have a differing point of view. They don't care if it's gonna upset. They just would rather not hear it. I saw that last week in the discussions that were happening. Another issue that we have is the hiring of that lawyer. That was part of that issue. I'm sorry, that's for later. Let me flip my page. The secrecy behind decisions. Now, when you made the decision to fire your administrator, you not only fired your administrator, you fired our administrator. That decision seemed very, very fast. When you make a decision that fast without anybody and any discussion over it, it tells me that you've made that decision long before that, or you're incredibly foolish. I know most of you on here aren't incredibly foolish. However, when you make a quick decision like that, that points to the other. The way you can fix this is have your meetings, have a clear discussion. If you're going to make a decision, show us how you're actually thinking. I haven't seen you actually show how you're actually thinking. I haven't seen that open discussion the way it should be. I'm on 49 seconds for an awfully long time.
You're okay, Pat.
Oh, that's all right.
You've got another thing.
Trying to write the buttons.
All right.
Keep going.
So I would like to encourage that discussion, even if it's an issue that it's going to expose a problem or it's going to expose an issue that you'd rather not hear. It needs to be heard by your public. Your public needs to understand. If you wanted to fire our administrator, you needed to have that discussion. You needed to have feedback. We took somebody, and I use this, the last woman that got fired. I've noticed the county has not been kind to women employees. The last woman you fired got no recourse, no information on why she was fired. That's like Commissioner Barron, if you took a tractor and said, you know what, it's green. I really don't care for the color green. Let's just scrap it. Where you could actually give feedback, call John Deere and say, hey, John Deere, you think you could paint me a different color? Or you could call a different company and say, hey, I think an International would be better. I'd like a different color. But you gave no feedback on how to fix that piece of equipment. And when you don't fix a piece of equipment, you just throw money away. And we threw a lot of time to where it needs to be. So I'll see you guys in about 3 more minutes, a little bit later. So thank you.
Is there any additional comment for agenda items, please? Public comment on agenda items, please. Last call. Public comment on agenda items, please. All right, thank you very much. Do we have anything on Zoom? Nothing on Zoom. Thank you, Brandon. All right, very good. Moving on. We have committee reports, departmental updates, anything from any of the department heads, please. If you wish to speak now. Nothing from department heads, if you wish to speak now. Very good. Guys, I need it orderly in here, please. General orders of business, unfinished business. We've taken item number 1, we've moved it to the end. So our first item would be the vice utility relocation or RFP. Oh, did I go past the old business? I apologize. All right, I'm sorry. This is new business. I'm sorry. So under new business, we have the same issue. Vice utility relocation RFP. Do you have information on it? Okay.
Corey is here.
Corey, could we talk to you for a moment? Yes, sir.
All we need to do is approve the plan so we can go forward and bid it out, and start advertising tomorrow.
Any questions for Corey?
I just have a comment. I was at the Building and Grounds Committee with Corey and his partner and the administrator and John Melner. We spent 20 minutes in the meeting, had all the plans submitted to me. And then the exciting part started. I got to go down into the basement and look at everything and ask questions of the two gentlemen that do the building and grounds for all of Delta County. And I used to work for Pearson Supply, so I had a little background on stuff, and I don't know if Corey noticed or not. But I was asking some technical questions that from 20 years ago, probably outdated today, just to see how much knowledge these guys have. We are very lucky to have Corey as our leader in the maintenance department. He's licensed, master plumber, I think, or something. And he was really nice in explaining everything. And I just enjoyed my visit to the other jail. And if anyone has any questions, he can get a hold of me. So Corey isn't bothered too much. But it's a huge project. It was actually listed at like about $500,000. And I thought to myself, if they could move this for $500,000, I would be happy. So these bids that are going to be coming back, I have a feeling they're going to be a little more expensive because all that equipment, all that heat, all them utilities, where they're going is a huge undertaking. But how long did you say that this would last for? I can't remember.
Well, we're looking at probably the end of October.
Okay, and then
For the
then the
heat,
lifetime of it that we're putting into this,
probably 25 years, 30 years or better.
another 25 years. So whatever the price is, we'll divide it by 25. And it's just so that everything is moved off that property. So the owners can move forward with building something great for Delta County, a hotel or whatever, so. I just wanted to explain that. I was part of that and so, and I looked at what you put here and I would move right now. Well, I can make a motion to accept what he brought here because we can discuss later. So I'll make a motion that we approve this RFP or whatever it is.
We have a motion by Commissioner View, supported by Commissioner Melner. Additional discussion. Mr. View,
Pardon.
any discussion?
No, I.
You're happy? Okay.
I already spoke too much.
You're fine, sir. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This passes. Thank you for your
All
time,
right,
sir.
thank you.
Item number 3 would be I would like to table item number 3 and discuss it on the meeting on the 21st. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion, table it.
We have a motion moved by Commissioner Barron, supported by Commissioner Melnar to move item number 23 or 3 rather to the 21st. I need it quiet in this room, please. I'm asking for decorum in this room, please. Number 4 is the Parks Management RFP. Commissioners,
Where is that? Is that
that should be,
invitation to bid B2? No,
No, it's before.
B4?
There is nothing in here.
there's nothing in the support.
No. We have nothing.
So we put this, we take no action on this. Moving back onto the temporary chiller on reserve, we have
So
no,
we're gonna table it?
you want to table the item number 4?
Yeah, I moved
Please
that we
be quiet in
table
the
item
audience.
4 since we don't have any documentation.
Very good. If there's no documentation on it, I need this motion by Commissioner View,
I'll support.
supported by Commissioner Peterson to table this until the 21st. Those in favor?
Aye.
All right, those opposed, that would pass. Now, number 5 would be the temporary chiller on reserve. Corey, we need you again.
So the temporary chiller is gonna be, I was trying to avoid doing this because The courthouse has a contract for temperatures and we have to keep it at a certain temperature for the employees. And once we get into March, April, we have to go to mechanical cooling and not use the economizer, which brings outside air in and cools the building that way. And once we get into that area, it's really, really hard to keep the building tempered. So, I mean, this is expensive, but there's not much we can do about it. We're gonna change a little bit of the piping and try to do it a little bit quicker than they had it drawn out first. But it's definitely something that we have to have, and we have to get it reserved because the way the heating stuff is right now, people can't get air handlers, they can't get pumps, they can't get cooling equipment 6, 7, 8, 9 months. And if we don't have a backup and something goes south, we're really gonna have a problem.
You have a price tag on this?
It's $9,250 a month for the chiller. They had, I think it was $11,000 for setup, but we're not gonna do it that way. We're gonna do it ourselves. We'll have to use an electrician to tie in the power, but the chiller lines can be tied in. They're flexible 4-inch lines that we can do ourselves.
So you need the authorization to go ahead with this?
All I want to do is put it on hold, hold it for us.
Okay.
Just in case we don't need it. I got to find out. I don't know exactly what it's going to cost to hold it. He hasn't got back with me yet, but that it's something that we absolutely need to get done.
Questions, gentlemen?
No, I think too much.
I move that we approve the
Maintenance director's request.
pardon me?
You what? Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Peterson to move, accept Corey's request. Support by Commissioner Barron. Additional discussion.
I just wanted to make the comment again. I talked to Corey about this the other day also. And he's hoping that we don't need it. But the main reason we have to support this is if he doesn't put a hold on it now, like he said, we won't probably get it. And we're hoping that we don't need it if things move quickly, right? I mean, if everything can move quickly.
What we're gonna try to do is the 6-inch carbon steel pipe underground.
Yep.
And they wanted to use the section from where the chiller is gonna set out by the parking lot, use the underground piping where it comes in inside. But I'm gonna try to get rid of that, leave the chiller run as long as we possibly can where it sits. And we're gonna try to get the pad forward, piping roughed in, and I want to build the piping up on rack, exposed above ground. Bring it in, so we have 2 tie points inside instead of having people trying to weld upside down underground. So a lot of stuff can be done ahead of the tie-ins.
Then my only other question is, you did tell me that if we tried to get this for a week at a time, it would have been probably double.
It's more
Double this cost. So he's looking at the most cost-effective way of doing it. And then I would ask you, say we get it for a week, do we still pay for the 9,500?
I don't know that. I can.
Okay, well, I mean, just in case we only needed it for a week.
All right, gentlemen, we have a motion, we have support, additional discussion. Could I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Milner,
Yes.
View,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
and Moyle.
Yes. Thank you, Corey. Resignation of B. Booker, request for lump sum payout and to fill probation officer's position. I would also add maybe a letter of gratitude and thanks.
Make a motion that we accept that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Melner. Supported by Commissioner Barron. Additional discussion, gentlemen? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Well, thank you to this individual. Item number 7 is the resignation of D. Gauthier, a request for a lump sum payout and to fill the assistant airport manager's position. Absolutely.
Thank you. When I have the opportunity, I like to let the board know some nice words about my employees as they leave.
Tell them who you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Andrea Newmelin, airport manager. Dylan, I just wanted to express that Dylan Gauthier in his time at the airport, he did a phenomenal job. He's a young man that came in and, you can say what you want about young people, but he did a really great job in his role. We wish him nothing but the best. He's taking a position clear across the country. His mom is up in the payroll department. She's not too thrilled, but we couldn't, we just wish the best for him. So thank you.
Give him a letter of thank you as well.
Yes, I can.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. Gentlemen, we have a motion in it.
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner View, and we have a backup by support by Commissioner Melnar. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That would pass, and thank you, this young man, for his service. Item number 8 is a new finance policy. I would suggest we could table this until the 21st, but it's up to you guys.
There's no info on there, is there?
No.
No,
What
no
is,
info at all.
what is that? What is that pertaining?
I don't know who put it on the agenda, so I have no idea. So let's table it.
Yeah, there's nothing there to.
All right, folks, I would need it quiet in the audience, please. All those in favor of tabling this agenda item until the 21st signify by saying aye. Well, now I need a motion.
I'll move that we table it.
All right, support. Commissioner View moves, Commissioner Barron
No
supports.
documentation.
Without documentation, we can't discuss this item. Hopefully, we'll get to it on the 21st. All those in favor? Aye, opposed? That has been moved on. Now, Mr. View, how we can discuss.
Mr. View.
Yeah, we took your item from number 1. You had
Oh, okay.
Mr.
Yeah,
Barron.
yeah.
And we moved it to the final item, gentlemen.
Sorry.
All right. What is your pleasure?
Well, it was on there. I didn't put it on
I
there.
know that, sir.
Okay, so
That's
I mean,
the
I don't
purpose
know
of
if
the
we
meeting.
want to start with me or if we want to start
You
with. the
start
chair.
with whoever wishes to start.
Well, I'd like to start with the chair to the simple reason is lead us into this and then I'll add my comments. And I think each commissioner should speak on how they feel we should move with the,
I believe each commissioner will, sir.
okay.
I'm sorry, I'm hearing it. Thank you. Gentlemen, check your mics just to make sure. The business of the county is at hand and we will fill this position as quickly and as painlessly as possible. I would like to hear from every member of this commission. I understand this is emotional for most people, many people. And gentlemen, I would like to questions or your opinions or what direction you would like to go.
I can start out if.
Go ahead, Mr. View.
Since you put me on the spot a little bit. When we left county meeting last week, I was kind of shocked and saddened. And when I got to the back of the room after we adjourned the meeting, the first thing that entered my mind was, who's in charge? And so I thought, so from that day forward, I started calling up as many people that I had time for, just to ask and get an understanding if something happened, what would they, who are they going to talk to and what would they do? And then as I got to know them a little bit, most of them said, nobody's ever came in here and talked to us like that or even wanted our opinion. I felt, go to the mic. I don't like talking in the mic.
I gotta hear you, Steve.
Okay, and then we would get kind of personal. I never promised nothing, never did anything. I said, tell me how you feel about what happened. So we went through that and I'm not going to get personal about that, what we talked about, but there was a lot of emotions. Then my next question was, give me 3 people in this county that works for the county that you feel would take this interim position that the employees could look up to, trust, and could go out into the community and speak on our behalf to pull us together, to get the people together, the other townships together, because, and also the most important thing, that they could be taken away from their job with the least interference where their office staff could take over, but yet they would still have to make certain decisions and that we expect our supervisors to make. And maybe we'd have to even have a temp kind of help that person out. And I do have a good understanding of a few people that I would like to put on the spot tonight if they're in there and or if they're not, where the commission can probably ask a few questions and we can debate a little bit about. I don't think I'm looking for someone super qualified to run administration in this position. I'm not. I'm looking for someone with soft skills that can communicate, we can go to, that can bring us back together, and that we can trust in leading us as we look for our administrator. We need a lot of help healing right now and together. So we need places where employees can trust, the commission can trust, and especially the community. So, I mean, and maybe it would be someone that's highly qualified to be administrator. I don't know, but I'm just saying, I was looking for someone that, and some of them took a couple of days to come back to me and tell me that they were.
Commissioner, do you have names that you're willing to throw out there?
Yeah, well, the top one would be Nancy Pizraki. I also talked with the county jail administrator, Jeannie Healy. District Court, but she didn't give me a definite answer. Mr. Geyer talked quite a bit and I was very happy, but he's not interested in it. Of course, Corey, he wanted an easy job. I was offering him an opportunity to come up and speak on that, but he loves what he does. The other ones were iffy, but I had a lot of support from the other. And I talked to the custodians all the way. I didn't talk to everybody. I wish I could have talked to every administrator, but when you talk to these people, they talk a long time on their feelings of what happened and then how to move forward. And I thought that was very important to go that way and do something that's going to benefit me as a sitting commissioner, pull us together, which I feel we're together already. It's just, there's a lot of chaos going on and direction doesn't seem to be projecting properly at this point. But if we get the right soft skill person in there, I mean, this person isn't going to make it up all these policies and change all these rules and stuff. We just need them hopefully for less than 6 months is what I'm thinking. But my top point position of what I've heard personally, and I hope the other commissioners went out and did a little research and stuff and come up with some good candidates. So let's see what we have, but that's my stance right now.
Thank you, sir. Any other commissioners, Commissioner Melner, Commissioner Peterson, Mr. Barron? If that's okay. That, sir.
I do have appointment to talk to somebody inside. Oh, sorry about that. I have an appointment next week to speak to somebody about a possible interim administrator. And I plan to look into the county to see if there's anybody available that is interested and qualified. I've also did a little research and found a couple of firms that help counties and cities and that find skilled administrators. And I've got names and contact information. I hope to discuss it with the board. Maybe not tonight, but at the next meeting and see if we want to reach out to either of the two firms that I found to see if there's any help there. I do want to, as soon as possible, put a permanent person in that position. Permanent person may be in the county or it may be out of one of these firms. I don't know, but I want to get moving on it, get it done as quick as we can. But on the same token, I want to make sure we put the right person in there that has the proper skills and the proper personality, I guess, because I can't think of the right word, to work with not only the board, but with the citizens of the county. And hopefully we can get that done and get a good person in here. That's my only goal at this point in time.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Melner, anything?
On hiring a interim or administrator, we have to make sure all the qualifications are there and what this person has all the qualifications. And what are all the qualifications that you're looking for?
Can I make a comment?
Yes, Mr. View.
No, okay, thank you. That's what our committee will do. First thing they do is I've been through this once before. And I just want to remind people that it's a very entailed process to get the right person. And it involves a procedure that you follow, and the qualifications will be determined first.
Well, lots been mentioned by the other board members. I think there's qualifications, obviously, that as Commissioner View has just mentioned, and Commissioner Mulliner, and that's it's an issue that we need to work with. One of the biggest qualifications of an administrator, the administrator for the county, is about 3/4 of their job description is finance. And that's something that's going to be a critical point on this, because this is a big operation to keep rolling, and you need to understand the finances. And I lean in that direction as far as what we're going to have for interim, and then down the road when we do get a permanent administrator.
I would view this as a two-part process, both parts taking part simultaneously. Obviously, we need an interim in here, all right? That will squelch the question of who's in charge and is the sky falling. Secondarily, we can I need it quiet or you will be asked to leave, so you don't need to be swearing in this room. Okay, you can express yourself without being profane. Yeah, this is no point for public comment right now. You have general public comment and you may speak your piece. I heard it. I didn't know if I didn't say you were. I heard somebody cast. Maybe my ears are going as bad as my eyesight. I don't know, but I heard somebody. Please be quiet.
Mr. Kaplan, was not you. Okay, I heard it, but I know your voice. It wasn't.
I didn't want. I wasn't accusing you. So as I was saying, what we are faced with is, yes, we need to find a full-time administrator. I think in the interim, we find somebody who's strong on finance. And I have a person in mind. I spoke with that person. It would be up to this board whether you wish to hire that person to keep things on a stable routing. And then we go into the process at the same time of looking for another county administrator. And yes, we need the entire input from this board, from the public. Absolutely. I like the soft skills they're very important. Yes.
Can I comment on your thing about the strong finances? Is this person in-house or out?
The interim that I'm looking at is definitely in-house.
Okay, but are we going to be taking that person away from finance where someone that can be a little
We would ask that person some questions, first of all, to clarify this.
If it's my interim administrator, I need a lot of help. And if there isn't a lot of finance to do right now, I don't have an issue with it. But if there's a lot of finance that she has to do in office, I'm going to be taking this person out of the office to do things that I feel necessary in the community, whether it's going on the radio, talking to the news media, going to township meetings. The same thing our last administrator, get out there, let people know who you are. And actually, our city clerk is well known in the community too, and I'm not knocking anyone else that you want to admit, but I just felt that with her reputation for the last 20 some years being elected official and meeting all these people and training all these townships on voting, she has a lot of connections. And I think her office, I know she can't be out of the office a lot, but she can be out of the office.
Who are you talking about,
Mrs. Pizaraki.
You said city clerk.
Oh, yeah, excuse me.
It's all right. It's all right.
I get mixed up from one commission to the other, sorry.
All right, and I agree with you that whoever is going to wear the interim hat is gonna have to wear different hats.
They're gonna
Okay,
have to
totally agree.
a lot of time, a lot of time.
I'm not gonna speak for Nancy. She can speak for that, to Clerk Pizaraki can speak to it to herself. But I think we can agree on the process of that we're gonna get an interim. She's already the signature of the county. And she has a department to run and she's short-staffed as it is. And that's the most I'll say. If you want to address that, you're welcome to.
Now we've gotten a new employee, so we're training her in. Yeah, in the mic. Okay.
Not used to speaking during the meeting in the mic. Okay, so I do have a new employee. We are getting her trained in. But that makes us just able to operate my office. So I don't want to step in into what Commissioner Moyle has already talked to somebody about. I don't want to get in the middle. But if I were to do that, I certainly would need help in my office. So that's but I would also like you to consider the other person too, because I think she's very qualified. And I don't want to get into that, I don't want to step in the way of that.
Be in the way at all. Anybody else?
I have somebody that I'm interested in also. Like I said, I'm planning on speaking to her hopefully the first part of this week, depending on how busy she is. She is. Oh, I'm sorry. You still can't hear me? How about this? Or is this mic not even working? Okay. I've always been told I've got a strong voice and so I'm not used to having to get into the mic like this. So anyway, I'm going to speak with her next week or maybe yet this week if she has time. I think she would be a very good interim administrator. And I think that we see how she looks and how she works and hopefully we can get this underway and get things taken care of before it gets too bad.
Folks, again, I'm going to ask you to withhold your comments, please, okay? Ashley, are you willing to, can I talk to you right now? Our controller is somebody who is used to wearing a lot of hats. I am interested I hope you're interested in the interim position. Your strong background in finance is outstanding. We need somebody with that. There would be assistance from our signature or Clerk Pizaraki's office and any other ways. Can I hear it from you? Are you interested in being our interim?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. We have somebody who has an understanding and a knowledge of county operations. And I agree with you, Commissioner View. We need somebody in here who's a people person. She fits that, but we also need somebody who's good at numbers. Not only for what's going on today, but the role of interim, even if it's temporary, could have dire consequences on this county financially if you get the wrong person in there.
I'll even make the motion for her, except I want to make one point. We don't lose her if we pick his position, her position. I'm just saying, who can we afford to move out of their position? Maybe I'm selfish.
You're gonna make a motion, You're going all over the place. You're killing me here.
Can I say
Just
something?
make a motion, please.
I have a comment on that.
You don't need to have one right now. It's not your time.
No, I mean,
Ashley would like.
You're fine. Comment on his way. Tell him you're not going in.
So,
right?
no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm standing right here. I have discussed this with the Department of Administration. That would include your board secretary and also payroll. And they are on board with this change. We're going to readjust on a task that we do on our day-to-day, but we are going to make this work.
okay.
Because my acceptance doesn't only influence myself.
No, but I've been misrepresented on what I was trying to get across because maybe I don't
You're all right.
say it right. what I'm saying is if anyone else went into that position, you would still be in your position to do all the finances anyways. And you're able to be pulled out of that finance office at any given time and help all of us out in many ways.
I have the
What-
flexibility of my schedule.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
I just flex my schedule. That's how it was with past administration too.
If I may, sorry, actually, Ashley is the one that I was going to talk to either this week or the first part of next week. So I was,
Right.
I didn't know how much we wanted to put on her right at the moment, but Ashley was the one that I was hoping would step up also for
Commissioner.
interim.
My question to you, Ashley, is as interim, and when we do find a new administrator, you have no problem going back to your,
Absolutely. I will go back to my controller. human
and while you're
resource specialist.
in interim, are you still going to be a union employee?
I am not a union employee anyway.
Okay,
So I'm non-union no matter which way.
okay.
Mr. View, do you want to make a motion? Said you did, so I was just giving you that option.
I appreciate it. Yes, thanks Nancy for stepping down a little bit. And Ashley for stepping up, so I'll make a motion to for Ashley, what's your last name anyway?
Young.
Oh, look young.
Oh, thank you.
For Ashley Young to step into the role of interim manager, administrator.
We have a motion by Commissioner View
I'll support that.
for Ashley View to be our interim county administrator. That is supported by Commissioner Peterson. We have a motion on the floor with support. Additional discussion, gentlemen.
We just need to make sure that we can come to an agreement.
We will.
Well, we're not guaranteed to. I mean, we
We
need to
will
work.
address her areas of concern as she
And
brings.
what's that?
You will bring them forward to the board. I'm sure next agenda is going to be a busy one as far as.
On the 21st.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion. Can I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Milner,
Yes.
View,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
and Moyle.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
We will get with you, plan on being here obviously on the 21st. And some of our agenda items are going to pertain to, some of your concerns, obviously.
Absolutely. I'll be here.
Anything else you wish to address? I mean, it's your mic.
Oh, okay. I was going to wait for public comment, but I'll just the board right now. I just want to say thank you to the commissioners for the appointment of the interim administrator. And for those of you that don't know me, I'd just like to give a little short background. I am the current county controller, and I also am the human resources specialist. I've worked for the county for 3 years. I was hired under the past administration, and included in my interview process was county clerk, treasurer, and board of commissioners secretary. Prior to coming to the county, I was an auditor with Anderson Tackman and Company for 5 years. I was recommended to my controller position and human resources specialist position by our past treasurer. And he was an interim administrator also, Tom Sauber. Currently, I hold 2 degrees. My first degree is in business administration and my second in accounting. I'm currently a vestry member of my church and a temporary treasurer for them. With my son, we enjoy all the activities Delta County has to offer. And I'm from a generational Delta County family. We have done farming, small businesses, mill work, and current law enforcement. So commissioners, we have a lot of ground to cover in a short period of time to make this county the best we can for our future generations. So let's get to work.
Thank you very much.
Pardon me?
She's our administrator.
Oh, yeah, you can welcome to sit up here if you want, according to Commissioner.
We're honored to hear you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, folks, at this point, we will have general public comment. You will be given 3 minutes to speak your piece. You will not be interrupted. Please address the board. And anybody who wishes to talk may talk. General public comment, sir.
My name is Ed Fleury, and I live in Cornell. My relatives going way back 1902. That's 120 years that we've been around, not me. I may look at this beside the point. I want to say that I have no personal or political vendetta against any board member. That being said, the reason I'm here tonight, is to request the resignation of Mr. David Moyle, Mr. Bob Barron, and Mr. Bob Peterson for the unethical behavior that has been witnessed while serving on the Delta County Board of Commissioners. Secondly, if this does not occur, the concerned citizens of Delta County, Michigan, we are prepared to seek all legal avenues under the law, beginning with a recall petition against these 3 board members. Secondly, in the matter of Roy Mattson, we are asking that he be removed from his position due to the grievous acts committed against the Delta County residents of this area. We further ask that he be banned from any position and holding any on any board in the county. You know, what a shame that we've come to this point where the hardworking, God-fearing residents of Delta County are faced with this dilemma that we are faced with now. What a shame. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you,
Delta
sir.
County.
Well, public comment, please. If you are interested in talking, general public comment.
Hello again, Christiana Reynolds from Escanaba. So a lot of people came up here and they're concerned about transparency. They really want the board to be honest with the citizens of our community. And I feel like I was in the twilight zone a little bit, just sitting there in the audience. I was shocked that nobody on the board really answered why Emily was fired. Like no one addressed that. And then when we have so much chaos with the board, there were no assurances given that someone would want to work as the administrator for this board. I was really hoping that our commissioners would say why this would be a good place for someone to work. And that was not spoken of at all. If I was someone looking for this position, I would not feel comfortable even applying for this job, knowing that I could be fired at a whim. So that was concerning. Also, when everyone was discussing certain people to take this position, Commissioner Peterson never mentioned a name. He was just, he was describing a person. And then I noticed that Commissioner Moyle knew exactly that he was talking about Ashley. And Ashley already had like an acceptance speech like written out. So I'm wondering if this was all just a circus. And I'm sure she's qualified and seriously, I have nothing, but I'm just wondering like what the heck is going on? Was this already decided? Because it really comes across as something that was already decided before all of us showed up and had a chance to give our concerns. So again, I hope the board moves forward with transparency with each other, with the citizens, and please address our concerns because we want to know that Delta County is a good place to work. Thank you.
Thank you. General public comment, please, on agenda items. No public, not agenda items, general public comment. You have 3 minutes. Please just approach the podium.
Hi, good evening again. Kelly Van Genhoven, City of Escanaba. I would just like to make mention that yesterday at the airport board meeting, Commissioner Peterson did suggest that Ashley Young was going to be the interim administrator. He said to Brian Hero, quote, Ashley is going to help us keep the wheels on the bus. And Ashley said, yes, I am here for whatever you may need. So to act like you don't know what you're talking about is non-transparent and it is unethical. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else, please, on general public comment? General public comment. You have 3 minutes to address the board, please.
Joe Kaplan, Ford River Township. I would just like to, since we have such a good showing today, I'd like to remind people that the Delta Conservation District is a unique unit of government. It has a local board that's 5 commissioners, and it's elected by every voter in Delta County that's registered is eligible to vote in the elections of the Delta County district, the conservation district, that Roy Mattson is the CEO. There's going to be an announcement very soon by the Michigan Department of Agriculture that the last election by the conservation district that was held at their annual meeting in August was not certified in the 90-day period that is required under conservation district law. So very shortly, there'll be an announcement that there will be 2 posts of the conservation district that will be, or board members that will be up for election. And I'd just like to remind everyone that you have a vote in that election. Everyone who's registered to vote in this room is going to have a say. That's Jay.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know. Please be quiet in the audience. Let the man speak.
I'd just like to let everyone know who's a registered voter in Delta County that they have a vested interest in our Delta Conservation District and that you should choose very wisely your next commissioners or board members are going to be on that board. This year, 4 out of the 5 board members will be reelected. And I'd like to say, I'm going to be one of the people running for that election. Thank you very much.
Please, general public comment. You have 3 minutes. Thank you, ma'am.
Judy Lacoste, Escanaba. That's the first time I'm hearing that the board, Rory's board is elected. Can we get information about when this meeting takes place? Who gets to vote? Just people at the meeting? I would just like some information on the when, whys, and hows. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. General public comment, please.
Chris Williams, Ford River Township. There's really nothing more painful in relationships than deceit and lying. They're the 2 things that will destroy a marriage, destroy a friendship, and destroy a community. I cannot stress enough how important it is for every one of you as board members to be transparent, to be honest. It's so much easier. It's so much easier to just be honest and transparent. And it's a way to build community. This is not the way you build community.
Thank you. General public comment, please. General public comment.
I'm Chris DeSalvo. It's a shame that you got rid of our administrator because she had all those qualifications that you're looking for and more. A citizen and a taxpayer of Delta County, I'm requesting the immediate resignations of Commissioner Moyle, Commissioner Barron, and Commissioner Peterson.
General public comment, please. General public comment. You have 3 minutes to address the board. General public comment. Patrick, I got him. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you. Patrick Johnson, Gladstone. Along with that transparency, one thing that'll help a lot is preparation. If you look into yourselves and see how much time you spend between county board meetings, researching your board packets, you'll really find the more you guys research, the better off you're going to be. I wasn't lying when I called and I talked to most of you and I said, it takes about 20 hours per week to prep for these meetings. And some people kind of rolled their eyes and said, yeah, that, okay, sure. But it takes 20 hours. And the fact that we're in a little bit more of a chaos situation, it takes a whole lot more. Luckily, we do have Ashley, so congratulations, Ashley. But she's going to need your help a lot. And that preparation that you take part of will help her a lot. The fact that we had 2 agenda items with no supporting documentation showed me somebody wasn't preparing. Somebody should have looked at that and been able to say, hey, we don't need these agenda items, let's strike them. There's some questionable action as far as the bylaws, as far as having things on the agenda that you did not call for. Now, whether, I mean, you guys, it's your rule, so you guys get to do what you need to with it. But there is some question with that. The Commissioner Peterson, you mentioned running to a lawyer and looking for help running the county. I'm so glad you guys didn't do that. What I've noticed in the past 8 years is that we're really eager to try to get a lawyer to sit probably right there. We had that about 10 years ago, and that was a disaster. That cost the county about $120,000. I was very much against that. I'm still against that. That's not something that I would like to see the county dollars go for. We do have resources available. Our prosecutor has been always more than willing. She has a full staff now. We've got MAC, we've got the MSUE, we've got University of Michigan. Heck, if you want a course on Constitution, you can go to Hillsdale and go on a course for the Constitution. So there are more than enough opportunities. It just takes the preparation that's required. And I highly encourage you to do so. One last thing is it's being said that I am campaigning. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. But if I have to be here and I have to remind you of different things, I will be paying attention. It takes me about 2 hours as opposed to the 20 hours I've recommended. So I do have 2 hours. I don't have the 20. That's why I'm not here. Thank you.
General public comment.
Hello, Barbie Claremont, Escanaba Township. I think maybe something could be added to the agenda. And that is before everybody starts, the conflict of interest declaration. If I see other boards, they have that. I'm gonna try to get that going in our township as well. It might clear up some of these dark clouds that seem to be following this board. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, general public comment. General public comment.
My name is Reed Hyken. I'm from Escanaba. By the way, if I own a tractor, I'm gonna paint it whatever damn color I feel like. It's my tractor. Ashley, welcome. Okay, hope you have a very good job. Please don't misunderstand any of this as being directed toward you. Mr. Melner. Some research as a result of my FOIA request. I noticed, Mr. Melner, that we talk about fiscal responsibility and caring for the community. Having done some research and looking at the per diem requests and the per diem checks taken away by the commissioners here, we'll start with commissioners being paid $8,324 per year to sit on the commission. In addition to that, Mr. Melner, you took $4,255 out of my pocket for you to attend meetings. You can document that. Last year, $3,700. Your expenses, the money you took out of my pocket, resulted in 50% over your salary in money that you put in your pocket. Okay, you had 45.5% more into your pocket than other commissioners. Without mentioning names, okay, we have $890 from a commissioner, you're 4,255, 865, and 1,920. Last year, 895, 3,700, Mr. Melner, of our money, 1,046, and $2,275. Mr. Melner, I'm very curious as to where your interests are. Are you in that office in order to line your pockets and supplement your income on our expense? Because that's what's happening. Those are tax dollars. By the way, Mr. Melner, you are the only commissioner out of the information I studied that charges the county $20 to attend this meeting. You are paid over $8,000 to come to this meeting, be a member of the commission, unless you can explain to me what that $8,000 covers, because it covers your gas, it gives you money to go to every meeting where you really literally do nothing other than tell people what's going on in the county. I know that because I've done the research there. Mr. Melner, I assure you, this isn't a personal attack. If it was a personal attack, I'd complain about the way you comb your hair or cut your lawn.
Thank you, sir. You need quiet, please. That one was hard. Okay, next up, general public comment.
And fix Escanaba. He, Mr. Heikkinen and Mr. Moyle are the co-sponsors of the Sharpshooter's Den. Everybody look it up. You talk about sickening. It's a shame. Pathetic.
Thank you, dude. Needs to help with the microphone.
Teresa Ross, Ford River Township. My protest sign said 3/5 corruptness on this board. Thank you, Mr. Malnar. Thank you, Mr. View. You are not part of that 3/5. Mr. Moyle, you've been chair of this commission for less than 2 months. You've gotten rid of ethics. You wanted to spend $3,000 to take a course on Robert's rules, which you should already know. You're not a new chair, a new person on the board. And now Mr. Peterson wants to spend more money to hire a firm for a permanent administrator. You have nothing but ineptness, and 31,000 people who have watched that video are very aware. Thank you.
Thank you. For public comment, please.
Liam Love, I'm a resident of Escanaba. I'm just asking for Mr. Morrow, Peterson and Barron to take advice from one of your party's past presidents, Richard Nixon, and step down before you embarrass yourself any further for your constituents. Thank you.
Please, general public comment.
My name is Susan Carlson. I live in Wellens Township. I wanted to address Judy's questions about the Delta County Soil and Conservation District. They have a website. On there, you can see all of the board members and where their terms are. And they also have phone numbers. One thing they don't ever post that I see is an agenda, and I never did get an answer about how come I couldn't find an agenda for this meeting. But in any event, I believe Rory is an employee of the state of Michigan. In which case, if you have ethics complaints, you can file with the state of Michigan. You cannot do it for people who are not employees of the state. So I would like to have an answer to the agenda question. And is there going to be an improvement in the Zoom and also possibly moving to the circuit courtroom if you have such an active community, so we have more room. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other people wishing to comment for general public comment, please? One more time, anybody wishing to comment for general public comment, you can address the board for 3 minutes.
We do have a person on Zoom.
Wonderful. On Zoom. Oh, go ahead, sir. We'll take you first. And on Zoom, we'll take you next.
Aaron Fleury, Escanaba Township. I got a question for Mr. Molnar. Escanaba Township has no public property for hunting, four-wheeling. What are you gonna do? You're the Cornell rep on that chunk that was bought for public use, but the public has been denied the use. You're the one in the frying pan and, you know, we need some answers on that. Are we gonna be able to ever use that, or is that a personal hunting preserve for Mr. Mattson? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. General public comment. Now we have somebody on Zoom. You are entirely welcome, sir. Ma'am.
Ma'am, thank you.
Thank
Gina
you.
LaCarte, Wells Township. I have worked very closely with Emily DeSalvo in the past. She is nothing but ethical. She was extremely qualified, and it is a shame that she was let go. The way this meeting was ran tonight was laughable. You know, we're just gonna table this, we're gonna table that. You appointed somebody who you did not even know her last name. And trust me, I have nothing against her at all, nothing at all. She likely is qualified, but come on, you did not even know her last name, for crying out loud. Get it together a little bit, please. You know, and then I'm not sure which commissioner it was that said you look young. I'm not sure that was so appropriate. You know, there seems to be a problem here with females.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear
What?
me?
What?
You're having a
Commissioner?
technical problem and a feedback problem. I want to give you your time uninterrupted so you can have your time again. We have to talk to our IT guy.
Am I good to go now? Did you hear anything?
Sorry, we're having a delay.
It's just delayed.
Let me try to cut our mics.
Can you please let me know when I'm ready? Okay, so I'm not sure who Ford is, but don't know you, don't care what you have to comment on. Did commissioners, did you hear anything I had to say? At what point was I cut out? I can't hear anything. So Gina LaCarte, Wells Township. I worked extremely closely with Emily DeSalvo. She was nothing but ethical. She was nothing but qualified. It is a shame that she was let go, an absolute shame. The way this board meeting was ran tonight was laughable, to say the least. We'll table this, we'll table that. Oh, let's give somebody the position that, oh, we don't even know her last name. Are you kidding me? You don't even know her last name. And Ashley, she's very likely very qualified. I have nothing against her. I don't even personally know her. It's not about that at all. And I'm not sure which commissioner stated, oh, you look young. I don't think that was appropriate now, was it? There does seem to be an issue with females in their positions in this county. Is there not? Am I the only one that recognizes this? And I would certainly not be attacking Commissioner Malnar, that is for certain. Thank you.
Convenience or to anybody in the audience. I'm sorry for that level of inconvenience. We are taking steps to right that problem. Additional public comment, please. General public comment.
Hi, Ukiah Penagor, citizen of Escanaba, Michigan. I would like to thank Mr. Malnar for his efforts. Mr. Malnar's district is the largest in size and he travels the farthest. He never misses a meeting, and in this town, he is greatly appreciated and he is highly regarded to the community. Mr. Malnar is a great example of a caring commissioner who is non-partisan. Thank you, Mr. Malnar. And for someone who is a woman of Delta County and knowing of Mr. David Moyle, who is part of the sharpshooters den, and hearing a lot of the comments that is said from him on the YouTube videos, how am I supposed to feel comfortable as a woman in this town to have someone like him as Delta County Commissioner? And I am asking you to resign Peterson, David Moyle, and Barron. Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize. Can you hear my voice?
Very well, thank you.
I'm Cheryl Corbier from Escanaba. I went to the meeting of the whole in December where I addressed the board and asked what the proper procedure was for reporting ethics violations. Every member of the currently seated board and the outgoing board was present. They were told the proper procedure is to report it to anybody who has a ethics violation concern, to report it to the administrator, and she would in turn report it to the prosecuting attorney. I will not be silenced any longer. I have been the victim of stalking. I have been the victim of having Mr. Moyle's hitman, who got up here and did a hate speech against one of the commissioners, park in the middle of the street in front of my house and videotape people coming and going from my house, people from community action, people from another country, people from the city. So there was plenty of witnesses. Police reports have been filed. He has stalked other people as well that have been reported to the police, referred to our commissioners or to the prosecutor, and nothing has been done. It was forwarded to Menominee County. This is all bullying in addition to violation of ethics. I don't know. I came forward because of the immense bullying that's been going on. And when Emily came forward and said what was happening to her with the bullying from two commissioners, I can't remember if it was three. My question is, after hearing what I say and what I've had happen to me, I believe her. Do you? Something needs to be done. I would ask that a committee separate from this, anybody seated here, holds our commissioners liable. And I will not be silenced. And I welcome everybody's voice that even has, that they don't agree with me. I mean, we all have to have our voice heard. This is enough. Thank you.
Public comment, please. General public comment on agenda items. Sorry, general public comments. You could go back and talk on agenda items if you wanted. 3 minutes to talk about whatever you'd like.
My name is Barb Noblet. I live in District 4. I am totally confused here. I have been told that, or read in the paper that the Ethics Committee was disbanded. And I was told by Commissioner tonight that wasn't true. Mr. View told what we needed to look for in an administrator. And I think Emily had all those things. So I'm confused why she was fired. I hope you have a better rapport with 3 on this board. Because you got your shoes to fill. You got shoes to fill, I'll tell you, because Emily was doing a fine job. She stepped into this job when we were having COVID. I mean, she did a fantastic job keeping the people informed, you know. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Now, this district thing, this confuses me too. I read the article because I wanted to know what the heck was going on. In one hand, Mr. Rory Mayra said that Mattson, that they wanted a 10-year contract because his employees wanted security in their job. The next minute, he's saying they don't want a 10-year contract. It's too long. So I'm confused. And I wish somebody would explain to me what is going on. I would like to see the resignation of you 3 too.
Public comment, please. General public comment, please. General public comment, please. Last call for general public comment. So many calls for general public comment. Commissioners' concerns then, Mr. Peterson?
I guess I would like to actually address 1B here. I did do a little research, and I did find 2 places that help hire administrators. Use them or not. I'm sorry. I did do a little research. I found 2 businesses that do help find administrators. We don't have to use them. Can
you go more into them? They're having trouble hearing you, I guess.
Still having trouble hearing me?
Is this mic on?
It's mic on.
You just gotta talk directly into it.
You have to pick the thing
Is
up.
this helping? Okay. There you go. Now it's like, holy. So anyway, I did do a little research and I found 2 places that help out in hiring, use them or not. I haven't talked to them yet.
Don't interact with the audience. Please just go about your.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was staying.
No, he can't. It's against our procedures. Go ahead.
Actually, that was the next place. I haven't talked to them yet. I just got their information. I didn't want to jump ahead of the board on this. And yes, at the airport, I did say that Ashley's name had been brought up. And I did support it, but I didn't want to say anything here because, as I said, I wanted to talk to her before I put her name out. Once Commissioner Moyle had brought it up, then I felt secure in saying that.
Please remain quiet or leave the room.
So anyway,
Stop. Deputy, can you please have people not interrupt the speaker?
Anyway, I do support Ashley. And I think she'll be a great interim. And we'll move on with the process of finding a permanent administrator. And I hope we are successful in coming up with a good administrator. That's my game plan.
Thank you, sir. Mr. View.
Thief. That's just figuratively. If you noticed, when everyone spoke today, I was typing. I was not paying attention. No, I was. I was so involved in typing what everyone said that I wanted to address as many of them issues as I can. And I don't know if I can address them all, but I will probably go through a few of them that I think is kind of important. But before I do that, I want to give a report of that. Let's see here. Bear with me. I was at the airport meeting also. I just want to give a report that the bylaws of the committee was updated from 20 years ago. We voted that in. I just want the commissioners to know that we probably have to go through a lot of our procedures and bylaws because they're 20, 30 years old and times have changed. People have different ways of doing things. We also got the all-weather observation system in operation, which really hurt our airport and boardings. That was AWOS. I was trying to think of what that meant. It's acronyms all over the place, very confusing, but that's an operation, which is a good thing. The other thing is, let me think, there was a lot going on. I just want to hit, we do have a tentative schedule for flights. And the airport administrator will talk about that in the near future with public announcements. I think them were the three most important things that we discussed there. A lot of small talk, but them are the important things.
Thank you, sir. Mr.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, Lord. It's a dramatic pause. I'm sorry.
Well,
Go ahead. I apologize.
I'm a processor. Sometimes I need 2-3 seconds, which is a long time. You know, I try to rush and then I make mistakes. So fusion was mentioned. I think everybody's confused, including me. I had numerous calls over the last week on confusion. Paper saying stuff, people saying stuff. We're voting on stuff. It took me an hour and a half talking to these people. And these are, some of them were elected officials. Just to let you know, they're confused. Not here. None of these called me. But within an hour and a half, all the stuff they seen on the YouTube video, paper articles, comments that were happening out in the public started making sense. I didn't say they agreed with everything, but it made sense. And I think sitting here, that's got to be one of my goals, to bring us together to make sense. I mean, that's just the way I feel. I don't want to say too much about that. 10-year contract. I don't have much to say about that right now because I'm still learning that. A lot of stuff was personal tonight. And I know as public officials, we're held to a higher standard. Ethics was brought up a lot tonight. 3/5 of us are corrupt. I disagree with that. If one's corrupt, we're all corrupt. I'm part of it. And it hurts me that people would say that without giving this board a chance. And I know a lot of you have a longer relationship with some of the members on here. Give us a chance to steer everybody in the right direction. I know, I see heads shaking, some like this, some like that. That's the problem. I would like a chance to kind of straighten out whatever seems to be the problem, and I don't know what the problem is yet. Well, what I'm saying is there's 36,000 people in the county. And I do appreciate this criticism that comes to me because it makes me better. It really does. But I also heard from just as many that spoke tonight from other people that are not willing to come here and share their voice outside of personally to me, and I mark it down. And someday, if I ever need there's comments to be spoken out in public, some of them had assured me that I can do it. Just to show you that I'm not, I was gonna say ain't, and I got a guy telling me I can't say that because it doesn't sound proper. Zoom comments. I think this board has let us down to the point of, if we're gonna use Zoom, we need the best out there. We need an owl. Anyone heard of an owl? It's like a camera that whoever speaks hones in on you, stuff like that. But I would like to see this, and I'm talking to Ashley, look into something for the next meeting that we can at least review over or maybe you're gonna send it off to Brandon, our great IT guy. Well, I don't want this to ever happen again. That was embarrassing for the whole community and anyone in the world, because they can watch this in the world. And that's my comment on that. Ethics is I try not to be unethical, but I need to talk to people to find out where the exit. I mean, I had somebody rate me that there was county property wood cut and sold for public gain. And I have no way of knowing if that happened or if somebody just said something to cause trouble. And how do you prove it? So that's all I have to say about that. Pictures taken, filming, even if someone went to someone's house and pounding on the door and screaming and swearing, that's not my job. And I don't know how to address that either outside that. Maybe call the sheriff. We've got a lot of nice sheriffs here. I know some of them personally. Well, we do. That's the venue you go for that personal stuff. Emily was very qualified was another comment. Well, how can I deny that? I'm not going against what the board did here. 3/5 corrupt, one voice. Once we're done, whatever end of the stick I'm on, I need to move forward with that voice. And that's why I wanted somebody in that position, and we have Ashley, to help us go forward that way. Give us a chance. Again, I'm saying that. Things on the internet. How many went on the internet? Look me up. You ain't gonna find very much. So, John, you're not gonna find very much of me on the internet. One other thing, the new administrator. I thought about it. I have what we did last time when I sat on a commission. I have the rules and stuff we follow. Mr. Peterson's on the right track. Professional. But how do we get that? How do we get that information to that professional and a price? Because if you think there's 5 people out here, like the 5 people here that'll get elected, that are educated lawyers, attorneys, and know what to look like. I mean, what to look for. We're mistaken. And a lot of people make mistakes because they think they know everything. I don't know everything, and yous have a lot to add to what I don't know. So I'm gonna go a little quicker. I know I can.
Fine, you got it.
Okay, thank you. Here's my theory. I'm bringing us back together and get the right administrator. And there's no guarantee. Here's what I'm saying, whether we had the right one or not. We have 5 commissioners. I cannot believe that not one of these commissioners want to be part of it. Correct? You agree with me? Put our names in a hat. The 2 picked out will be the first part of that committee. Random. No talking behind the scenes, no nothing. I want a 9-member committee to get moving on this week if we could, but I don't know if we can. The next part of that is the supervisor staff of the county. Anyone that wants to be on that committee, give it to Ashley, even if it's Ashley.
put their name in the hat. Where's my hat? But pull one person out. The staff, meaning anywhere else in the county. All our snowplow guys, women, cleaning people. They have just as much right to say what we need, sheriff's department. I'm not thinking everyone wants to be on it, but whatever it is, pick one out of the hat. And this is the most important part to me, and I talk from the heart on this. 5 representatives here, 5 districts. In our districts want to be part of this 9-member committee. You got it. Put their name in a hat. Have our lottery. Start going with the proper procedure that we need to go forward with this group of 9 randomly picked. No bias, no nothing, and just move forward. I could speak a little more, but one other thing. I know I'm sorry, but County Hall meeting, not Carnegie Hall, County. Get a hold of me. I have an email address. If there's an interest, I will see if I can reserve this room, and I personally will come and sit down at the table with anybody. Like I did the people that called me, whatever time it takes that we can come together and explain that we do have a ethics policy. And there was some other stuff that we do. I'll bring the document, I'll bring the page numbers, I'll bring everything, and I'll teach people how to file it with Ashley. There's a lot of stuff going around that just doesn't add up. And if it affects our board, it affects me and it affects you. And I need to get you to at least give me a chance. So look up my email address at the county, please. And that'll show me the true interest you have in pulling us all together. Because that's all I want. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. View. Mr. Milner. Couple of things on Emily. Never did hear a reason why she got fired. I wish somebody would really say why she did get fired. What did she do wrong? Second of all, to the question on the county part or property in Cornell. The conservation district in that contract says the parks, the county property, and soil erosion in that contract. I have heard that they're going to break up that contract and give the county property and soil and erosion back to the conservation district, which is 100% wrong. That contract should have been done. Once you give it up, everything on it should be back to the county. Second of all, I was more or less, I don't know, saying I robbed from the county because I went to meetings and I've done my job. What about you have known that we go to MAC committee, which is the Michigan Association of Counties. I have seen commissioners at these meetings that never showed up and got collected for the travel time to go down there, the cost of the MAC meeting,
and my Allegiant food, plus motel rooms. I have seen it. I have heard from years past that commissioners done this. And that's all I'll say.
Well, I want to thank Ashley for taking the position. I think this is going to help us move forward. I think Ashley, you're Brian. Okay, I want to thank Ashley for taking the position as interim administrator. I think she's got the qualifications and the drive to help us move forward. And that's what it's going to take. Thank you, Ashley.
Okay, in reference to addressing as many concerns tonight as I can, right off the bat with Zoom and YouTube, we do have our IT person on it. I have faith in Brandon. He's an excellent IT man, and we will up our IT game on YouTube and the IT. What occurred tonight won't occur again. And again, you have our apologies with that. The Ethics Committee has never been scuttled. There was some spirited debate about what the role of an ethics committee should be, but is still under our procedures and policies. It's very much alive, and it has never been scuttled, okay? You can file ethics complaints if you want to, but I would submit this to you for your consideration. The ultimate decider of ethics is the electorate, the proletariat, the people who cast votes at the ballot box. If something is illegal, Lauren Wickman gets it. She's the prosecutor. Unethical behavior, that can open up Pandora's box, I suppose, as well it should in a democracy. But just because somebody does something you don't agree with, it doesn't mean it's unethical. You, as the public, are the ultimate decider at the ballot box. Nobody ever wanted to bring up an MMRMA lawyer for Robert's Rules. Robert's Rules is loosely attained to, that's not law. The Michigan Open Meetings Act, that's law. And that's what we were talking about. Former Chairman Johnson brought up some good points about using the MMRMA, using MAC, using QE. Commissioners do attend those trainings, and it's wonderful. Some of them are one size fit all trainings. Some of them are more specific. They're excellent trainings. But what Mr. Peterson, what myself I was talking about, and other commissioners wanted to do is get information with a lawyer that could cost Delta County a lawsuit. $3,000 to bring up a municipal attorney with experience in the federal bar is cheap. I understand it sounds like an egregious amount of money, but when you look at the county settling out of court the last two times, $125,000 for one, $75,000 for another, this is an investment. We haven't ruled this out yet, but where was this frugality in December when people were throwing around other? This is not a waste of money. If a commissioner or commissioners get information that will help avoid a frivolous lawsuit against this county, that is protecting your money, okay? I understand that people that will view something that they don't like done as a violation of ethics. Again, there has been no violation of ethics. If somebody said you fired a whistleblower, and I said, what law was violated? And I say that again, nobody wants this. I don't like this. To the stalking charges, that could be going anywhere. My wife had the lug nuts loosened on her truck last week. You think that's funny? It's not hysterical. It's not funny. This has come to a point, and I am willing to sit down even with my most diehard political enemies and discuss things, and I will shake hands and leave it at that table. You involve my family, now you've seen another side of me. The committee to hold us accountable, that's you, okay? That's at the ballot box. I'm not resigning. I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing what I think is the best for Delta County. If you don't want me back in office, don't vote me back in office. And I will still say hello to you when I see you on the street. Okay. Very good. Mr. Johnson, you had talked about this county not treating women very well. I was the one vote that didn't want to hire the guy that fired your wife. And so I stand by my decision there. I have always treated women and men the same way in this county. I was the one who, you can go ahead and laugh if you want. Laugh. I contacted Ashley. If you cannot be quiet, I'll ask the deputy to get rid of you. Deputy? So anyway, I would like to thank you for accepting this job. I told you when you accept, if you accepted it, you'd have a target on your back. I look forward to what you can do for the county, and this commission's got your back. And just tell us what you need. Ms. Presrocki, do you have anything? All right, very good. We will have another regular Board of Commissioner meeting on 2/21, 5:15 in the Service Center. A regular Commissioners meeting at 3/7/23, 5 o'clock. That's our informational workshop at the Service Center. Regular Board of Commissioners meeting on 3/21/23 in the Service Center. Okay, any 30-day appointments? We don't have any. I need a motion to adjourn. So moved. Have a good evening, folks.